Can lucid dreaming decode crop circles? Crop circles are mysterious geometric designs discovered in grain fields, usually in England. Some people associate them with aliens, while others say they are hoaxes. I say they are beautiful art. You might be aware that SETI scientists, that's the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, think that the universal language of mathematics may help us communicate with an alien species. SETI usually focuses on encoding meaning through pictograms or codes like binary code. They assume that each symbol must mean one and only one rational thing. However, sacred mandala meditations and Jungian active imagination demonstrate that mandalas may inspire imaginal or transpersonal encounters with deities or other entities. This sentence has a lot of jargon, so let's break it down. Mandalas are circular sacred drawings. Buddhist meditations often involve imagining yourself within a circle in which you encounter Buddha nature or its representatives through different icons of the Buddha. Magical practices involve casting a circle in which you encounter a spirit. This is central to the practice of Western esotericism. Carl Jung was a famous psychologist who used mandalas to focus his imagination, through which he encountered angelic or spiritual beings that he felt existed beyond his personal imagination. Imaginal or transpersonal things may be psychological or spiritual forces that exist outside of the personal unconscious or imagination, but is experienced through imagination. A precognitive dream through which you learn something objective about the world through subjective dreams is a prime example of transpersonal experience. My hypothesis about crop circles is simple. Crop circles are sacred mandalas, like the mandalas used in meditation or Jungian active imagination. When you use ruler and compass geometry to understand the crop circle, you relate everything back to the first circle. Therefore, anything in ruler and compass geometry is a mandala when you look at it the right way. When you use geometry to analyze a crop circle, you transform it into a mandala. I hypothesize that you could use techniques like mandala meditation or Jungian active imagination to encounter the spirit of the crop circle. The circle has a specific geometric design that can captivate the mind, no matter if it is made by humans or aliens. I ended up testing my hypothesis using wake-initiated lucid dreams, or WILD. Wild lucid dreaming techniques consciously transition you from waking to sleep in dreaming. You can use a variety of visualization techniques to work with the visual imagery that arises as you approach dreaming. While working on a geometric drawing of a recent crop circle, I imagined drawing it as I fell asleep. If you're curious about lucid dreaming, download the Dreamwell mobile app, where I lead you through short daily lessons to your first lucid dream. I had a series of dreams that involved the crop circle design. They involved lucid awareness, but not full recollection of my waking persona. The dreams had split awareness. First, I was aware of my sleeping body. Second, I was aware that I was in a dream. Third, my consciousness flowed through the geometric design of the crop circle. The three streams of consciousness became integrated as I woke up, so I can't be sure if they were not simply generated in hypnopompia or the state between sleeping and waking. These are the dreams. A stream of action like a movie somewhat watched. A portal opens on a brownstone porch. A prophecy is given, and then forgotten. Two things happened. First, I was lying in bed, vaguely aware, drawing a crop circle design. Second, I was in a dream with two others. While I didn't realize it in the dream, the crop circle played me like a music box. There is a house of many rooms. A crop circle design stretches across the face of the house like a spider web. Like a spider, I feel many far things through the web. Two awarenesses emerged upon waking when rich memories recede. 1. The dream people set up the dream. I think my body consciousness is aware of them. 2. A dream is changed by them to see if I notice. I experience the change as a figure of light. These were entities associated with the geometry, which I recognized from my dreams that inspired me to first look into geometry. Similarly, those dreams and the dream characters identified themselves as lucid dreams and real characters, but which surprised me because I sometimes imagine that lucid dreaming is like self-programmed virtual reality. While they are not what I imagine lucid dreams to be like, they involve my direct awareness of my body and my dreaming mind, as if I'm perceiving the whole situation from a third point of view, which in this case was the geometry. The crop circle was reported in France on June 10th, 2024. CropCircleConnector.com lists it as a rumor and links to a French language news article about local students making crop circles. It's unclear if this is part of the project, but it is very similar to the designs made by the students. While some might say that this is not a true crop circle because it is likely not made by aliens or balls of light, there is a feeling to the geometry that inspires the imagination. The designs I'm working from actually come from the Facebook page Geometry of Crop Circles. They posted a drawing and a geometric instruction for the design. I used their drawings because all the photos of the field that I could find were skewed. I was able to stretch the photo to match the designs after the fact. Their design centered on a hexagon involving one of the larger circles in the design, which encoded all the other magnitudes and proportions they needed to complete the drawing. While they use a hexagon as the foundation, I use the Vesica Pisces. I suspect there are many other designs based on the sacred geometry of regular polygons. I wonder, where do those orbs and balls of light who make the true crop circles go to school? Perhaps it is in the field of our dreams. Explore the geometry of this beautiful crop circle and perhaps inspire your dreams. Center yourself and imagine that this circle is a mandala, which Jung described as the archetype of the self. This circle may then contain your dreams, as does the self, and so your imagination becomes imaginal and real as you see yourself in the dreams of the circle makers. We're going to start with a crop circle already printed out, the size we want to draw it, and then find our center line on a blank piece of paper. Now we found the center of the horizontal line on the blank piece of paper. Now we can draw an initial circle the same size as on the printed out crop circle to ensure that our drawings line up. So now we have one large Vesica Pisces on the center line and three smaller circles that just fit on this piece of paper. The Vesica Pisces and the three intersecting circles produce a geometric figure by which we can ascertain or discern where the golden ratio is in the initial circle that we drew. I'm now drawing the golden ratio lines in the pink pen. These intersection points represent where the initial magnitude of the horizontal line was cut by the golden ratio, and therefore any figure placed upon these intersection points conveys the golden ratio or mathematical meaning in the diagram. So now we've practiced the basic skills of using ruler and compass geometry to draw crop circles. The next step involves drawing the golden ratio the next level down. This expresses a fundamental principle of crop circles, which is fractality. That means we can nest the same procedure in different iterations. In this case, we're dividing a segment in the golden ratio and in bisection. The segment that we're now dividing was initially defined with the golden ratio, and therefore we're applying the principle of fractality or nesting when we divide this smaller segment in the golden ratio. We can now draw the first part of the crop circle design, the crescent moon. In order to do that, you simply use the nested golden ratio and bisection marks that we produced in the blue marker. Going from left to right, you use the first intersection point as the center of a circle and the left-hand side of the initial figure as the radius. Then you draw a second circle using the bisection point of that smaller segment, which is defined in the blue marker. The width of the crescent moon is essential to this crop circle drawing, and it is itself defined in terms of the golden ratio and bisection of specific magnitudes. We then take that width and use it as the radius for a center circle and another circle placed at another intersection point that will form the foundation of this geometric design. The placement of the center circle and its width gives me more information about the geometric design. There's a sort of larger circle surrounding the center circle and the circle between the center circle and the crescent moon. These two circles form the width of an interior circle that is part of a wave in the geometric design's background. You can see I'm creating some bisection points to find the center of those circles, so I am setting myself up to draw both of those circles implied by the center circle and the crescent moon. We'll draw those circles in now. The circle to the left and right of the center circle are different sizes, but they're both determined by the geometry of the design. The left-hand circle is determined by the difference between the center circle and the crescent moon, while the circle on the right-hand side is determined by the placement of its center point along the intersection of one of the construction circles for the nested golden ratio division, which is marked in the blue marker. Now we can complete the geometric design with a lot of the information we already have in the geometric framework. We can now continue the waveform design by using the distance between the rightmost drawn circle and the circle to the right of the center circle. This will produce the inner structure of the rightmost waveform. At this point, we're going to set up the geometric drawing of the smaller circles by finding the bisection points of already known places of the geometric drawing. We can then draw in the remaining final smaller circles, noting that all of the sizes of those circles have already been determined by the bisection and golden section of the initial Vesica Pisces, which have been simply nested or applied fractally to the figure. The last part of the drawing is completing the waveform that moves in the background around the smaller circles on the horizontal line. In order to draw these circles, we simply need to find the bisection point that will find our center of those circles, then draw in the circles. We can then fill in the circles and the waveform to complete the drawing. Finally, we can test the geometric drawing against the figure we started with by flipping back and forth. Since I've taken extra work to ensure that the drawing I've made is the same exact size as the printout, I can overlay them on top of one another, flip back and forth, and you should be able to see how congruent my drawing is with the crop circle printout. Dreams transcend time and space. They mystically connect us with all that is. What if the dream you have tonight, which is now programmed by the geometry of this crop circle, goes back in time to place the circles in the crop or inspire the imagination of its creators? Maybe the fact that you contemplated this geometry gives enough power, energy, and focus for the balls of light circle makers to perform their mysteries. May you dream well.